Hello there, this is Daniele from Toolchefs, and in this video we're going to have a look at the new CloudCache stack order and also at the first stack order mode. So in Atoms, whenever you want to import some nonlinear deformation on top of your agents, you need to use a CloudCache. Like in this case here, I have a squash deformer on top of my head. There are some cases where your deformations cannot just be described with blend shapes, and in these cases you need to use a CloudCache with the first stack order mode. So in order to export a CloudCache, you can use the CFX simulation exporter. Basically, this is the old Cloud simulation exporter tool, and it has been converted to the CFX simulation exporter. This is just because you can also use this tool for exporting FUR and Cloud at the same time. So whenever you want to export CloudCaches with the first stack order mode, you need to go to export, and in this case here I'm just gonna disable FUR because we don't need to export any FUR here, and you can change the stack order to last or first. So whenever it's set to last, this means that the CloudCache deformation will override anything that's been done previously by the skinning. And this is basically the case where you have, like a t-shirt or a cape, or anyway where the cloth is actually driving completely the deformation of the geo. With first, this means that basically the deformation that we're going to export in the CloudCache, that's going to be in the CloudCache is going to be applied to the geometry before skinning. So in this case here, we want the deformation of the head to be applied just before skinning. So then basically our agent will follow the CloudCache deformation but still be skinned to the skeleton. So first thing that we want to do is to provide a CloudCache destination file, and I'm just going to overwrite this cache that I previously done. If you wanted to add the result of this export to the content that was already basically in this CloudCache, you can always check this option, the merge option. In this case, I just care about overwriting it all, so I'm gonna leave it off. Whenever you're exporting in first, you don't really need to change to set the seam start frame, because that's gonna be ignored. You have to provide the start and end frame. I'm just gonna say 1 and 120. And then for the agent IDs, so if you leave star, all the deformation, this deformation is going to be applied to all the agents that are in your simulation. But otherwise, you can provide just agent IDs for your agents. So you can provide a range or a single ID and so on. I'm just going to leave it to start to apply it to all your agents basically. Then I'm gonna select the root joint and click refresh. Then before clicking run, you always have to select the geometry that you want to export. This is very important because I keep forgetting to selecting that just because I just selected the root joint. Just so always remember to select the geometry you want to export, and then you click run. And this is basically getting exported in that CloudCache file that we just selected. So now I'm gonna create a new scene. I'm going to create an Atoms proxy node. I'm going to attach a cache. I'm going to attach a variation. And finally, I'm going to set the CloudCache that we just exported. Oh, so now I'm going to change the pro mode to variations. Now if I press play, you see basically that the heads for these robots here is actually being squashed, and these of course will be rendered as well. If you want to randomize this deformation a little bit, we're going to provide a script on the blog, and you'll find the link in this video description, so you can use that script for actually randomizing the deformation for your agents so they don't look all the same. And this is all for this video. Thanks for watching.